Hi friends, welcome to today's lecture of the biology. That is the topic reproduction in lower and higher plants. In previous lecture, we have studied the parts of flower and its structure. Today we are going to explain or going to discuss the structure of anther or the male reproductive part of the flower, or it is nothing but the androecium of the flower. When we called androecium, then it is nothing but it is the essential reproductive part. That means in flower two reproductive parts are there, that is androecium and gynoecium, and two non-essential, that is vegetative parts are there. These are called as the calyx and corolla. Today discuss about in detail androecium, that is structure of anther. Androecium is the male reproductive part. An individual member of the androecium or single member of the androecium is called as the stamen. This stamen consists of filament, connectives and anther. That means these are three parts present in stamen, or stamen consists of these three parts: filaments, connectives and anther. Filament is nothing but the stalk of stamen. Anther is nothing but the upper portion of the stamen, and connective is nothing but it joins the filaments with anther. Then the structure of anther. When we goes or see the structure of anther, then before the maturity of the anther, these cells of the anther are made up of parenchymatous cells. That means before maturity of the anther, or primarily or previously, the parenchymatous cells are present in the anther. Then there is a different types of anthers are there. That means when we shows or sees the lobes of the anther, then there are monothecous or dithecous anthers are there. What is actually monothecous anther? That is when the anther lobe is consists of single lobe, then it is called as the monothecous. And when anther lobe is consists of two lobes, then it is called as the dithecous anther. And in each lobe two pollen sacs are there. That means in dithecous anther two pollen lobes are there. That means four pollen sacs are there. The pollen sacs are also called as the pollen chambers. That means four pollen chambers are there, and these pollen chambers are nothing but the site for production of formation of pollen grains. That is, it is also called as the microspores. It is pollen grains are also called as the microspores. That is, these microspores or pollen grains are haploid in nature, and these are produced from diploid microspore mother cell. That means The four-sacked pollen sac or the four-chambered pollen sac is called as the tetrasporangiate. Tetra means four. That means four-chambered pollen grain is there. It is called as the tetrasporangiate. And after differentiation or after maturity, these tetrasporangiate pollen grain or anther is differentiated into hypodermal cells or archisporial cells. That means these archisporial cells nothing but site for formation of microspore mother cells, and microspore mother cells are nothing but formation of pollen grains. When we goes the transverse section of anther, then this transverse section of anther is divides into two layers, that is the archosporial cells and sporogenous tissues. That is inside sporogenous tissues capable of giving rise to microspore tetrad. That means inside the anther the sporogenous tissues are there. These sporogenous tissues are nothing but formation of MMC, that is the microspore mother cell, and these microspore mother cells diploid produces haploid microspores, and these haploid microspores are called as the tetrad microspore. That means the outer layer of the sporogenous layer, that is the parietal cells, that means the TS of anther shows four different layers. That means outer layer is called as the epidermis. Epi means above. This is called as the epidermis, which is made up of flattened cells and which is protective in function. Inside to epidermis there is a endothecium layer is there. That means endo means inside. This endothecium here, that means is a subepidermal layer. That is the subepidermal means it is present below to epidermal layer and made up of radially elongated cells with fibrous thickening. That is, then third layer is called as the middle layer, which is 2 to 3 layered cells. That is, these structure shows the third layer called as the middle layer. Here this middle layer is made up of 2 to 3 layered structure, and at the time of maturity this middle layer is disappeared. Then fourth layer inside or innermost layer is called as the tapetum. This tapetum layer is nothing but it provides the nutrition or nourishment to the developing microspore or pollen grains. That is, the pollen grains are developed inside the pollen sacs or pollen chambers, and these pollen chambers are nothing but the site for the production of pollen grains. And this tapetum layer or tapetum cells provides the food material to the developing microspores or pollen grains. Then see the definition of the microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? That is the production of or formation of microspore from the megaspore mother cell is called as the microsporogenesis. That is, the haploid microspores developed from diploid microspore mother cell is called as the microsporogenesis. That is, here each microspore mother cell divides meiotically to form tetrad of haploid microspores, that is the pollen grains. That is, the microspore mother is diploid, and after meiotic division or after meiosis the diploid microspore mother cell is converted into haploid microspores, that is pollen grains. That means from single microspore mother cell diploid, haploid 4 microspores are formed, and this is called as the tetrad of haploid microspore. That is, microspores is also called as the pollen grains. When we see the structure of the pollen grains, then the pollen grains is non-motile haploid unicellular body with single nucleus, and the wall of a pollen grain is called as the sporoderma. That is, the wall of the pollen grain or microspore is called as the sporoderma. This sporoderma is again consists of two layers. That is, outer is called as the exine and inner is called as the intine. That is, there are two different types of the exines are there. In some pollen grains the exine is smooth, and in some pollen grains exine is spiny. That is, here this exine or the outermost layer of the pollen grain is consists of the non-biodegradable, that is non-decomposable substance called as the sporopollenin. That is, this sporopollenin prevents the decomposition of the pollen grain. That is, it increases the viability of the pollen grains. It may be smooth or spiny or sculptured patterns. That is, inner layer is called as the exine. It is thin, and this inner layer is maybe or it is not continuous because of the presence of pores or the openings. These are called as the germ pores, and these germ pores presents on the exine layer, which are useful for formation of pollen tube at the time of male gametophyte. That is, the pollen tube is emerge out from the germ pores at the time of the male gametophyte. That is, these are meant for growth of emerging pollen tube during germination of pollen grain. The inner wall layer, that is intine, contains of cellulose and pectin. That is, this is the complete structure of transverse section of anther and structure of microspore, that is the structure of pollen grains.